Let's talk about modeling, and especially about this one specific era that became very popular on TikTok. Slavic models, doll era. Who are they, and what is so special about them? Let's get started. The ability to freely travel outside the country after the collapse of the Soviet Union allowed Russian models to work more with foreign agencies. Foreign brands began to open in Russia. The management of new brand that came to Russia was in dire need of new faces for advertising campaigns. Gradually, the world runway was replenished with Russian models. The foreign press described this phenomenon as the Russian wave. In the 2000s, the modeling industry was marked by an era of 3Bs. Called by foreign media after the three names of the most successful Russian models, Natalia Vodianova, Evgenia Volodina, and Anya Velitsina. The main thing that Vodianova, Volodina, and Velitsina had in common was that they managed to make their way to the world runway shows from the middle of nowhere. It was not only the unusual Slavic appearance that attracted the fashion industry. This typical story of Cinderella, who came from poor country and became big, inspired and still inspires many of young girls all over the world.
I was a very poor girl selling fruits on the street, it's true, and trying to survive.
Okay, let's be real. Most of the girls, at least once in their life, dreamed about become a famous actress or model. And this idea of limitless possibilities, of making your life from the bottom to the fairy tale, attracts millions and, of course, sell the best. Vodianova sold fruits on the roads of Nizhny Novgorod and was from a very poor family. That was my reality and I felt very isolated. But fate prepared for the hardworking Russian woman not only a series of contracts and friendships with famous designers, but also a marriage with the British aristocrat Justin Portman, and then with the son of one of the richest men in the world, Anton Arnold. Girl, legend. I respect this kind of decisions when we're talking about marriage. In 2003, Vodianova became a face of Calvin Klein, and from that moment, her career took off. In the same year, the model first appeared on the cover of British Vogue and took part in many shows, including Chanel, Valentina, DKNY, Dolce & Gabbana, and Prada. In 2004, Vodianova finally officially became one of the most successful models in the world, appearing on the cover of American Vogue. Natalia Vodianova entered the 300 richest people in Britain. You see how it cannot inspire you. It's insane. But the dark side of it all was, of course, jealousy from her old friends. They waited for her with the knife so they could cut her face when she came back for her holidays to her hometown. It was 15 of them, and thank God she had somebody with her who protected her. Oh, jealousy. I heard a lot about how mean and bitchy she was at the beginning of her career, that she even pushed Gemma Ward so she wouldn't be close to Karl Lagerfeld or something. I don't know if it's true or not, because in this video you can't clearly see it. But come on. This is a modeling industry, not a kids camp, okay? Guys, it's one of the most toxic and competing industries, especially back to the old days, okay? This girl didn't want to go back to hell where she came from. She had to survive and become someone to stay, so she did what she did. By the way, about Gemma Ward. Oh, she's so insanely beautiful. She literally looks like a doll. It looks like she came from another dimension or from another planet. I love this kind of beauty. Gemma started when she was only 14. She was a top model and worked for many top designers, brands like Chanel, Versace, and more back in the 2000s. Actually, it was all because of her. All of this trend to baby face doll models. And she isn't even Slavic. She's Australian. So, but people always put her photos on the Slavic models' posts because she made this trend basically. There's a lot of Slavic girls, as you can see, with this certain type of beauty and colors on their faces and hair. It's like very muted with bright gray blue piercing eyes, very tall and skinny, and it's all create this fragile, very wintry and cold look, as Russia is. So I see the vision and aesthetic in it too, so I understand you. Passion, folks. Well, unfortunately, in 2008, Gemma was walked for the Chanel show, which after she was fat-shamed, she got ripped apart by gossip blogs and media who wrote these headlines like, Gemma was bloated and setting big standards. Guys, she just grew up. She was not a child anymore. Oh, it's so fucked up. Since then, she has left modeling industry and focused on her acting career. Well, good for her. This industry is like...
I don't know, I feel like I was publicly shamed. It did affect me at the time. I wanted to hide. And I didn't want a lot of people kind of, putting cameras in my face and putting me on front covers of newspapers.
I have no words, really. Yes, more noises, please. Thank you for more noises. It's so cool. Thank you. Wow, amazing. Especially when I film videos. So cool, so cool, so cool. I don't know, I need to buy a microphone and a lamp and everything. But okay. We're doing what we're doing. We do what we can do with what we have, okay? Okay. Continue, please. Slavic women have a special desire to become the best, says model's agent Duncan Ort from Famous Women Management. Hell yeah, as I said, it's because of a very poor childhood. You see, I know a lot of Slavic models who is like, I never thought that I was beautiful. But then a model agent came to me and my mom and told us that I should become a model. And the next day I was opening Prada. I'm still in shock. Slavic girls, we all know that we are beautiful. And the whole world knows it. The Slavic girls are all so beautiful and the whole world knows it. And all men looks like who did it and why. That is actually true. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, the whole land can have a name, beauties and the beasts. Okay? But I understand. It's okay to pretend to be humble sometimes. So most of us are aware of it, and we know that the thing is that stopped us from getting big is poverty and some more circumstances that we were born with. But when we get a chance, we work really hard because we understand that we need to hold on to this chance that was given to us as much as possible. That's the reality. Vlada Raslikova, oh, one of my favorites. Despite her looks, I really love her personality. Her career started from Tokyo. She admitted that the trip to Japan, which was her first trip abroad in her life, she was very young, like 15 years maybe, was quite difficult to her. That there was not so many of jobs for her there, which I'm surprised actually, because she has a perfect type for Asian market, in my opinion. But anyways, this girl held a record of walking 91 shows for one season. How is it even possible? Girl, I respect her so much. And her walk. Have you ever seen her walk for Tommy Hilfiger in 2010, where her hair bounces in this navy blue dress? This video lives in my mind rent-free. That's what I'm saying about hard work, ladies. If you follow me for a long time, you probably know that I did modeling when I was 14 till 18, and now I'm 22. And I was inspired mostly by this era too, back to the old day, and honestly, it didn't age well. That time in fashion industry, especially modeling industry, was full of disrespectful behavior. So I have some stories from my own experience that maybe one day I will share too, but who knows? Maybe. But anyways, model standards was insane and girls struggled most of the time. Okay, can you imagine being a young Slavic girl living alone in a big city like New York, who is constantly on a diet, don't have a family by your side, have a pressure from your agency, from the unrealistic beauty standards, not be paying enough for your job, but having hopes and dreams that one day everything will pay off and you will become a supermodel and will help your family financially, will support them. Being around a bunch of girls who wants exactly what you are and will do anything to get it. And on the top of that all, some weird ugly man trying to manipulate you into believing that he can help you with everything. And his main goal is just to get something from you. And then they leave. Imagine. Horrible, right? But this is how it was in modeling industry back then. I don't really know, does anything change nowadays in this industry? I hope so. But the truth behind the glamorous photo shoot runaways interviews was horrific. So one of the most famous tragic story from that era was about Natalia Vodianova, who was an extremely beautiful. I bet you all remember this Nina Ricci commercial. And I'm not going to talk a lot about her in this video because I think she deserved to have a whole other video that I will probably film. But I think she is not talked enough in this industry. That makes me so sad. The thing is that she was found dead near her apartment in New York City. She was only 20 years old. Some people said that she did it by herself, but some people don't believe in it. Well, I guess even in near future we're not gonna find the truth, but anyways, stories like this from this industry scares me the most. The fashion world is constantly changing, and if in the past girls spent a lot of time and effort on the third path to success, now they need to firstly gain a lot of followers on social media. Now you can make a video on TikTok and wake up with an offer from a famous brand. Social media has become part of the job, because for clients it's important how a girl manages her account. Designers would not only see a perfect picture, but also to have an idea of the model's inner world, her personality. Of course, it's all depends on the market, but if we're talking about America, New York, on castings you can see models wearing full of makeup, wearing stylish, but absolutely not a tight clothes as before. Because before it was necessary to show your figure and to show your face without makeup. Now they want to know what girls does beside the modeling industry and want to see their personality through their style. We still see Slavic models on runaways, but it's not that special as it was. And I think it's because this type of beauty is not on trend in the fashion industry. And I think right now they're searching more for alternative look, like some unnatural hair color, thin plucked eyebrows, something like that. Everything should be provocative, exaggerating, and it needs to catch your attention. It's something should be very special, but at the same time everyone looks like that, so I don't know what they want. I think they're trying to add some chaotic, artistic energy back to the industry, and it's of course because of the Gen Z and our obsession with TikTok, so they're trying to play with that. What makes it all funny that on TikTok everyone is obsessed with completely opposite era from the past. I think it's fun to have a nostalgic feeling sometimes, and that era was full of beautiful girls and it has its own specific atmosphere and aesthetic that will never repeat itself again, but at the same time it wasn't that glamorous and fun as it could seem like it was. And I understand, this industry back then had its own charm. It was glamorous, yes, unhealthy, full of cigarettes, run only on black coffee, no sleep, worked for Prada at 3 and then for Saint Laurent at 4, and still look fabulous. At that time, this always busy city lifestyle girl was really romanticized by media. Then we had some sort of period of time when people realized how damaged it was and made actually no sense, that it's much more productive to work less and smarter than fill your schedule with meaningless stuff just to keep yourself busy and being always on a rush and then being burned out and asking yourself, what is it for? Is it the thing that I truly want? What am I doing with my life? But most of the models from this era quit this industry and worked on their own businesses, focused on their family or some different career, for example, like acting, and lived a peaceful life. And they remember that time like dark period of their life because of how hard and toxic it was, even though I'm sure they're all so grateful for all opportunity that they had and what they got in order to have a good life now. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one. Bye bye.